Italia, 1948. Questo è davvero un grande anno per il popolo italiano. The Second World War has just ended, and the great country of Italia is facing some really big problems. Economic devastation, political uncertainty, and social and cultural upheaval. Oh, mamma mia! In essence, times are tough, and the Italian people are looking for something to uplift their spirits during these hard times of struggle. Luckily, our great and bustling theatre industry is always here to help us. Let's go see what feel-good movies they have for us to watch today. Come along, andiamo! Well, unfortunately, that wasn't the case. You see, Italy is currently going through something called Neo-Realism Italiano, Italian Neo-Realism. The point of Italian Neo-Realism was to depict the harsh realities of living life as an Italian citizen after the devastation of World War II. It sought to emphasize the struggle of ordinary people during these tough times and to emphasize what life was like. It sought to move away from the artificial or glamouristic or escapism movies of post-World War II Hollywood. The Italian neo-realism filmmakers had an emphasis on artistic and socio-political awareness and sought to bring that to the forefront of their films. This genre was made to kind of stand against the classic realism that was found a lot in the Hollywood productions at the time. So let's go look at the movie that I just watched, Bicycle Thieves, and see what comparisons I can make between these two films and how they differ from each other. The first difference I noticed as an Italian citizen of 1948 was that I didn't recognize a lot of the faces in this film. Usually, I'm used to seeing some big name actors as the lead man, actors such as Rudolph Valentino or Bartholomew Pango. But for this one, they used a pretty unknown man, quite ordinary, by the name of Lamberto Magorani. I assume, as a 1945 citizen with no film knowledge, that they used this man as to ground the film a bit more, to make it feel more real, like we were just following a man on his day during this hard times. It creates a sense of rawness and honesty that I, as an Italian citizen, can relate to quite easily. And I feel like that is why this film was so potent to me. Branching off of my previous point of making the film more relatable, it focuses more on the everyday lives of its citizens, as we see here with the main man, Antonio Ricci. Antonio is an unemployed man living in poverty with his wife Maria and his young son Bruno. Times are tough and he's seeking a job. He finally finds a job posting advertising bills across the city, however the job requires a bicycle. Maria then pawns off their bed linens so Antonio can get his bicycle back from the pawn shop. His bicycle of course gets stolen, which is required for his job, and this is where the main conflict of the film comes in. These are two normal people dealing with the real-life struggles of post-World War II Italy. Like Antonio, I also had to sell my bed linens for my daily allowance of ravioli. Furthermore, Italian realism makes a point of shooting on location rather than fancy sets. I'm pretty sure during the whole duration of Bicycle Thieves, not one time a set was used. This gives the film a sense of intimacy and immediance and grounds the film in the real-life socio-political climate where it was shot in. I would also like to comment on the style that these films are shot in. Traditionally, you would have a very polished film set with some nice lighting and some nice cinematography, but for Italian realism, that wasn't really the case. Italian neo-realism embraced a more documentary style of filmmaking, with a handheld cam and natural lighting, and a more unpolished sense of it's happening right now, right here. Once again, the emphasis was on realism, on the right now. People wanted to see people struggling with the same things that they were struggling with and how they were dealing with it. Sometimes they came out on top, sometimes they didn't, just like in real life. That's also a big thing in these films, where in normal Hollywood productions, you would always get a good ending. But in Italian neo-realism, the ending also was quite realistic. It's not always happy. Italian neo-realism was to stand against the artifice and polished narratives of traditional Hollywood cinema. It strives to strip away the glamour and fantasy of a made-up world in place of what everybody really is struggling with. By focusing on ordinary lives, using real locations, and critiquing the escapism often found in Hollywood movies, Italian realism seeks to challenge what a film could be in 1945. It strives to insert political and socio-economical problems into the film, which I think should be revisited as we are struggling with a lot of the same problems right now, and it's not really being talked about.